Welcome to the Digital Curation case study on Project Gutenberg. The group is composed of Mina,
Andrea Guzzetti,
and Schilperoort.
This project is created for Library 284 for the spring 2015 semester. Project Gutenberg is a digital library and the first producer of free ebooks. Although ebooks digitized from public domain books form the majority of Project Gutenberg's collection, the project also offers smaller selections of audiobooks, DVDs, CDs, sheet music, and self-published ebooks. Most importantly, Project Gutenberg's entire collection is free, with unlimited restrictions as long as intellectual property rules are respected.
Michael Hart founded Project Gutenberg in 1971 when he was given an operator's account with $100 million of computer time in it by the operators of the Xerox Sigma 5 mainframe at the Materials Research Lab at the University of Illinois.
On July 4th of 1971, Hart chose the Declaration of Independence as the first document to digitize and distribute to the masses by simply typing out the document and making it available online. From there, he proceeded to add the Bill of Rights and the U.S. Constitution, and then classic literary texts like the Bible, works of Shakespeare, and Lewis Carroll's Alice in Wonderland.
Michael Hart, believing in the free distribution of information, named his new digital library after the Gutenberg Press, which you can see pictured here. At its time, the Gutenberg Press meant easy replication of the printed word, allowing for ideas to spread. Similarly, from the start, Project Gutenberg exemplified the easy replication of the electronic word and text, which in its own way allows ideas to spread.
Project Gutenberg may have started out as a one-person effort, but as Hart recruited more and more volunteers passionate about the cause, Project Gutenberg became a collaborative effort run entirely by volunteers. Today, Project Gutenberg's library consists of well over 48,000 ebooks, and the number grows every day, and has been able to do so solely through volunteerism and donations.
To add content, volunteers create an account and submit through appropriate submission page, where they will be prompted to conduct a series of required checks: spelling, punctuation, text formatting, code, and EPUB conversion validation before uploading the final product. Once uploaded, the ebook is checked by Project Gutenberg's volunteer posting team, who will communicate with the volunteer if any revision is needed before adding the ebook to the collection.
Although there are individuals making contributions through the collection, the majority of ebooks are produced through Project Gutenberg distributed proofreaders, a web-based collaborative method of converting public domain books into ebooks in which volunteers proofread and format based on images of scanned books. This method is genius because ebooks are produced collaboratively by people all over the country at their own convenience, and only project leaders have to have access to the actual physical books.
Volunteers have complete control over content. Project Gutenberg as an entity does not decide on which books to digitize and publish. Volunteer project leaders decide what books they want to scan, and volunteer proofreaders and formatters choose to help with the books that interest them. Volunteers must follow a specific set of proofreading and formatting rules, outlining a series of training manuals and tutorials designed specifically for Project Gutenberg books.
Project Gutenberg takes intellectual property rights very seriously. Before proceeding with digitization, volunteers, both individuals and those from the distributed proofreaders, must submit scans of the text for copyright clearance, which is checked by a trusted team of volunteers. In accordance with the collection principles outlined by the NITO framework, Project Gutenberg has an explicitly defined collection policy, only public domain ebooks. And the substantial process of copyright clearance demonstrates a deep respect for intellectual property rights.
From the outset, Project Gutenberg embraced interoperability and ease of access through the use of open source file formats. One of Project Gutenberg's hard and fast rules is the requirement of 7-bit ASCII plain text. Whether they are digitized now or they were digitized 30 years ago, all the books are captured in plain vanilla ASCII, the original 7-bit ASCII, with the same formatting rules, so they can be read easily by any machine, operating system, or software, including on a PDA, a cell phone, or an e-book reader. Other optional formats include HTML, XML, PGTEI, RTF, EPUB, Kindle, and PDF. In accordance with NISO, materials are freely available to download without a fee and through widely accessible text formats that can be read on various devices.
The cool thing about the Project Gutenberg website is that it is a wiki which volunteer account holders can edit and to which can add content, including bookshelves, catalog records, book reviews, author biographies, book listings, and more. Some pages, like the home page, are locked. Only a special team of Project Gutenberg volunteer managers can edit them.
Project Gutenberg welcomes the creation of mirror sites, a fact which illustrates the non-proprietary nature of the collection itself. The replica sites provide additional points of access on different servers in order to improve availability and access speeds, as well as sites in other languages.
Project Gutenberg is known for having limited rules for content development and ingestion procedures, which has attracted many volunteers, resulting in exponential growth of the collection. This has also resulted in limitations, especially when compared to the NISO framework of guidance for building good digital collections.
According to Michael Hart, plain vanilla ASCII is the best format for access and longevity. Quote, "The major point of all this is that years from now, Project Gutenberg e-texts are still going to be viable, but program after program and operating system after operating system are going to go the way of the dinosaur, as will all those pieces of hardware running them." End quote. This is true to some extent, but access is not the same as preservation. According to the NISO framework, the ideal format for master files of machine-readable texts should be, quote, "marked up text, generally within an established XML schema or DTD, for example, TEI or TEI Lite," end quote. TEI encoding practices, especially within the TEI header, ensure that all essential information such as bibliographic metadata, as well as details about the source material and revision history are documented, resulting in a more reliable and accurate master file containing more meaningful data, all of which are lacking in the Project Gutenberg collection and metadata records.
Another limitation of plain text is the lack of attractiveness due to the simple utilitarian nature and lack of aesthetics. The lack of formatting and of images makes the books less attractive than their commercial counterparts. This in itself inhibits the attraction of younger readers especially.
Project Gutenberg metadata records are automatically generated upon publication. Many automatically generated records are incomplete and have to be revised by volunteer catalogers. A national metadata standard such as Dublin Core, for example, is not used. Library of Congress classification and authorities are encouraged but not required upon publication. Perhaps the biggest limitation of Project Gutenberg metadata is the lack of explicit information of the source material. For example, the record note for James Joyce's Ulysses acknowledges that the ebook is based on pre-1923 print editions, but does not specify or give the bibliographic information of the exact editions scanned. And the record for Mary Shelley's Frankenstein does not even mention the source material at all.
The Project Gutenberg website, hosted by iBiblio.org, is outdated in appearance with less than perfect navigation. Although the searching and browsing options for locating books are adequate, one has to do a lot of exploring to find the relevant information about Project Gutenberg in the various how-tos and FAQs.
The list of the top downloaded ebooks, which is updated daily, is almost exclusively comprised of literary classics. This suggests that the site is primarily used by readers who are interested in fiction and enjoy access to these texts for free. Scholars and other specialized audiences may have less interest in Project Gutenberg text as they are limited to plain text digital works. Based on the sheer number of downloads, it is safe to say that despite Project Gutenberg's limitation, it has done what it has set out to do, provide free access to public domain ebooks worldwide.
The format of the Project Gutenberg texts, coupled with the processing power of modern computers, can facilitate some important research tasks, such as readability analysis. The openness of the project, however, creates problems in this regard. For example, different tools have to be used for the different languages represented in the data set.
In a way, the strengths and weaknesses of Project Gutenberg all merge together at the question of interoperability. On the one hand, Project Gutenberg's ebooks are interoperable because the plain text format can be accessed and read on practically any platform. On the other hand, the lack of preservation, encoding, and metadata standards means that the ebooks are not interoperable with digital collections that are using national standards. Project Gutenberg ebooks, in a way, are used at your own risk, not authoritative versions. Though the project's intention is to run under the least governance, it would behoove the project and its efforts to enlist volunteer or paid efforts of librarians, training, cataloging, and the creation of metadata to address the current issues en masse before they grow out of control even more.
Project Gutenberg's collection development strategy, format selection policy, and sustainable growth model have enabled it to grow from its beginnings in 1971. According to an interview with Michael Hart, as storage and availability of recordable media has decreased, the cost of individual books becomes literally too cheap to meter, and that is the whole point of Project Gutenberg's ebook library. On a whole, when we look at this point articulated by Hart, we can agree that, by staying true to its philosophy, Project Gutenberg has achieved its aim. That being said, any digital project can bear with improvements that reflect growing knowledge around digital preservation and curation. Many of the project's attributes have worked well for it. However, key issues exist that should be considered as the project moves into the future.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.